So, on tonight's episode of Bedtime Comics with a Redneck, we will be reviewing Mark Spears' Monsters issue number 5. On the back, shows all the other variant covers. There's always a good handful of covers with this, but all the issues, as you can see, if you can see, all the issues are usually limited runs. Like this is cover E. The girl with the snake tattoo says it's limited to 7,990 copies. So this is one of the kind of rare ones. So it opens with All That Remains, Chapter 5, Werewolf, with a big picture of the hunter. So the story starts with Dr. Jekyll and the hunter having a discussion. Dr. Jekyll basically says that he promised his wife he wouldn't become Mr. Hyde anymore, and he hasn't touched his serum anymore. But he said that he keeps saying he's back. He visited me. I'm assuming he's talking about Dracula. Uh, and they keep bringing up this Tasker guy. I'm not sure who this Tasker guy is. He's even brought up in the Monster and the Wolf miniseries that's supposed to come before issue 1 of this. But the Tasker was supposed to get the serum, and Dracula was going to steal it from Tasker at the Crowley house. So Dr. Jekyll is like, I'm glad that it was you in the end. That he's like, I always considered you a friend, and Hunter shoots him. And he tells him he was always a good man, but right now he needs help even from a monster. And we cut to a gas station where these kids are at. They're kind of playing around the gas station. You have inside the gas station, you have a dead guy that I'm assuming they don't know about. And they're just having usual kid conversations about what kind of soda they like to drink and so forth. And this kid goes in the bathroom and is using the bathroom, and he hears something scuttling and he thinks it's a rat. So he goes to find it, and he runs into the werewolf who has done killed somebody. And I mean, look at the art in this. I mean, this is what every comic should be looking like. If I'm paying $6 for a comic book, this is what I expect the art to look like. So the kids take off running. Why they're at a gas station in the middle of the night, I don't understand. Maybe issues 1 to 4 clear that up some, but for whatever reason, there's old man Crowley. Hunter takes him out as he's heading towards the house that Dracula was supposed to meet tasker at, I guess. The boys run to a water tower. I'm assuming it's a water tower, and they climb because one of them says they don't think the Wolfman can climb ladders. And you've got detectives talking about how there was a woman found who was missing her heart, and she had a playing card put in her mouth and had the word sinner carved in her neck. So we don't know what that is now, but as we get further, like the next two issues, we find out who it is. Uh, we've got Igor. He's roaming around. He has the Bride of Dracula chained up, and he's down there taunting her, and he's like, I know what you need. So then it cuts out and goes back to the boys. They're thinking they're safe from the werewolf. Hunter comes in a car, hits the werewolf, but of course the werewolf is agile and able to land on his feet. Hunter comes out firing. The werewolf gets shot up pretty good. You know, you can see blood dripping from him. He's obviously been wounded. He charges Hunter. He's got Hunter up against the fence, just giving it to him. You know, and of course, Hunter has been trained for years in this. Earlier, when Hunter heard the howl, he did acknowledge that it was Clint. He called him Clint. So him and this werewolf have some kind of history with each other, that they are very aware of each other. At least the Hunter is of the werewolf human persona. So then we cut back to Igor, and we see that he has given the Bride of Frankenstein a haircut, which I am not a fan of. I really kind of dug the design that they had for the Bride of Frankenstein in here, and I feel like they kind of ruined it by going with like the little punk look. But then we get to this other scene here that I don't really understand. They're harvesting DNA from a dead body, and if you pay close enough attention, you'll see that it has horns, and there's a name on the vial, but I can't really make it out. So all they ask is, what do you think they're going to do with the DNA? And the other guy that works for the company, is like, I got no idea. So that is the end of issue 5. So now I'll dive into how I feel about it. This was all these issues are very quick reads. They're not word heavy, but they the artist is capable of moving the story along without having heavy dialogue in it all the time, and that is quite an accomplishment for an artist. I mean, the art in it, this is by far the best art I think I've ever seen in a comic book, and I've been reading comic books since 1993. And I can honestly say this is the best art I've ever seen. The most realistic looking art. Now, I've read issues 1 to 4 of Monsters, but it's been a while. And for reasons beyond me, I do not own the first 4 anymore. So I can't go back and reference them. But they are coming to hardcover December 17th, I think. They're coming out with a hardcover that collects the first 4 issues. But this issue alone, you had, I'm sure there's a lot of plot points from the first 4 that it was picking up on. Like I'm sure somewhere they explain how the Bride of Frankenstein got captured. You've got the hunter and the werewolf fight in here. I mean, it starts here, it's continued in the next issue. Uh, each panel of the fight has a lot of energy to it. So I was very happy with the fight. And like with the detective scene where they're talking about the cards and being stuffed in the mouth and the heart being took out, like they're still introducing new monsters into this universe. So you've got the continuation of what's before. So they're progressively moving the story forward. At the same time, they're introducing more potential plot lines, and they're even throwing in energetic, entertaining fight scenes. And I mean, you've got top of the line, Marvel comics like Spider-Man and X-Men that can't even accomplish one of those things in a whole issue. I mean, the only drawback on this series is you don't get an issue every month. You're kind of at the mercy of when they want to put them out. Usually it's on a 2-3 month cycle before you get a new one. Uh, Usually that would annoy me, but I am perfectly happy with waiting 2 months to get something with this magnitude of art and storytelling. I mean, if you are a Universal Monsters horror fan, this is what you need to be reading. I know Skybound or whatever is putting out Universal Monsters comics, and they're okay, but this blows what they're doing out of the water. But I do appreciate what they're doing. Anytime I can get more of the actual monster type stuff where they're staying true to the monsters from the movies, I'm for it. So the more the merrier. This is just my top preferred one. The Skybound stuff is still great. I'll still buy it when it hits book form or whatever. But this is an absolute must have. Uh, the as you've seen, every issue of these, even the basic covers, are all limited runs. So they do offer a lot of second prints and third prints. I think the first issue is up to like 8 or 9 printings already. But almost as soon as these printings come out, they're gone. Like it's hard to even get a hold of the 9th printing of the first issue. So if you are interested in these and you can find them somewhere, don't sleep on them. Grab them. Even if you're not interested in them and you just want something that in a year's time you can flip and make a little extra money on, pick a copy or two of these up. I I don't endorse grabbing them all at the door and keeping the people who actually do want it from having it. But if it's a couple of days after release day and there's some copies laying around, it is what it is. So if I had to give this a 1 out of 10 rating, this would be a 10 all day. Do not sleep on this. If you enjoy horror movies, this is a step up from the Universal monster stuff. It's, yeah, do not miss out on this. This is must have.